They will no longer be complicit in genocide.
Thank you.
I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest that, compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, is not extreme at all. This is what our ruling class has decided will be immortal.
Thank you. I need a hand. Thank you. Hold it up. Thank you, brother. Use your candle. Use your candle.
Aaron.
This is in solidarity with Aaron, who burned his body. At the very least, we can burn the Zionist flag.
If we burn, you burn with us. 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 We will free Palestine. We will free Palestine. Within our lifetime. Within our lifetime.
I am an active duty member of the United States Air Force,
I'm so sorry.
and I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest that, compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers.
Go away. Fuck off! Fuck off!
MPD, you're all the same. No justice!
No peace!
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 No justice!
No peace! Free, free Palestine! Long live Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! Not a penny, not a dollar! No more money for Israel's slaughter! No more money for Israel's slaughter! Not a penny, not a dollar! Not a penny, not a dollar! No more money for Israel's slaughter! No more money for Israel's slaughter! Secret Service KKK! IOF, you're all the same! Secret Service KKK! IOF, you're all the same! Secret Service KKK! IOF, you're all the same!
he died.
You feel the flames?
Zionist training.
Do you feel the flames yet?
He died yesterday on the same spot you were making up.
No fucking shame.
Exactly where you're standing. Exactly where you're standing. A man burned to death.
Quit your job!
Quit your job!
Quit your job!
Quit your job! Quit your job! Quit your job!
Quit your jobs! 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 Quit your jobs!
Quit your jobs!
As our comrade, Officer Aaron Bushnell, bravely said in his final act of compassion, "I will not be complicit in genocide. We will not stand idly by. We will never stop. We will not be complicit in genocide." We take this moment to hear his final words, followed by a minute of silence for the 30,000 martyrs murdered by the State of Israel and the U.S. war machine. As the flames engulfed his body and consumed his final breaths, he let out the words, the wish, the conviction, the foretelling. He said, "Free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine." We will never stop fighting. I ask you to also express your outrage. In unison, let us shout those words, "Free Palestine,
Free Palestine!
free Palestine,
Free Palestine!
free Palestine,
Free Palestine!
free Palestine."
Free Palestine!
Thank you. I'd love to invite our Palestinian community to have some words. I'd like to invite Wissam first.
Hello everybody, my name is Wissam. Thank you everybody for coming here today. We come together under circumstances most tragic, driven by a sense of profound loss, anger, and an unwavering demand for justice. Yesterday, we lost an individual who was not only a member of the armed forces, but also a courageous soul, who took an unimaginable step to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people, our people. In a selfless and devastating act of immolation, this service member laid down their life to spotlight the struggles, the injustices, and the relentless pain endured by countless individuals every day in Palestine. His last true words were, "Free Palestine." We are gathered here not just to mourn, but to affirm that his sacrifices and the causes that were highlighted will not be forgotten. We honor his memory, the brave soul, as well as the memories of all of those 30,000 plus lost in Gaza and Palestine. Those who have been lost during the struggle for dignity, freedom, peace, not only in Palestine, but Lebanon, Yemen, and Syria. Their names, their actions, and their dedication light a fire in our hearts and strengthen our resolve. We are angry, rightfully so. We are angry because in a world abundant in resources, knowledge, and pathways to peace, we still witness unbearable acts of violence and expressions of profound desperation. We are angry because the call for justice, for a dignified existence for the Palestinian people, continues to be met with indifferences, if not outright hostility, by those with the power to hostility, by those with the power to make a difference. Yet, let us channel this anger into constructive action. Let us use our voices, our resources, and our networks to advocate for change. Let us support organizations, initiatives, and each other that seek to provide relief and support to those afflicted by this conflict. Excuse me. Let us hold our leaders accountable, urging them to prioritize peace, justice, and human rights in their foreign policies and international relations. Moreover, let us remember the lesson of empathy and solidarity that this act of sacrifice teaches us. This service member, despite or perhaps vigor towards a world where no one feels compelled to undertake such drastic measures to be heard, where justice and peace are not just ideals but realities for all, including the Palestinian people. We will not let this loss be in vain. We will remember, we will act, and together we will strive for a future marked by empathy, justice, and peace, for no one is truly free until Palestine is free. Thank you.
We'd love to welcome any other speakers who might want to share their thoughts at this time.
Hi everyone, my name's Danica, but I am not speaking on behalf of myself tonight. I'm speaking on behalf of Daniel Hale, who was an Air Force veteran who was sent to prison for whistleblowing on the U.S. drone program. Greeting friends and comrades, I express the utmost solidarity and humble respect for our fallen comrade Aaron. Both Aaron and I share a commonality that is more widely spread throughout the American military than the ruling class would have you believe. The weight of guilt for the many crimes against humanity perpetrated by our government hangs heavy over every veteran. Aaron succumbed to the most pervasive wound in the U.S. military, a moral wound. I urge each of you to honor his memory by going and looking at his final moments uncensored. Aaron wanted everyone to witness the horror of human beings being consumed by flames, lest we continue to ignore the reality of what our bombs are doing to the bodies of Gazan children by the tens of thousands. God promised Noah the fire next time. Aaron's stunning bravery is prophecy fulfilled. Upon the ashes of the old world, we shall build the new one. Until every prison, a library, until every sword, a plowshare, until Palestine is free. Rest in power to the martyrs of Gaza, and rest in power, Aaron Bushnell. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Kamon Freeman, Angry Black Man in Therapy. I'm representing We Act Radio. It's been said that if you set yourself on fire, the world will watch you burn. I really didn't know what that really meant in real time until yesterday. And this young man is now my newest hero. And for him to give his life to bring the change that we so desperately need in this world also shows up a mirror to many of us who are not only unwilling to risk our lives, we're not even willing to risk our livelihood. I've heard so many people in this bourgeois town tell me it's not your fight. You're gonna lose a lot of money. You're gonna like a lot of enemies. And I think that what this young man taught us is that that really doesn't matter, does it? Some of the same things they would tell us to minimize our righteous indignation to address the atrocity and the ongoing genocide. Many of them don't even want us to say the word genocide. We haven't even had the argument about that.
Shame.
That is a shame. But it's because they are shameless that we have to make sure that we are not shameful and being acquiescent and silent. Martin Luther King was accused of the same things when he spoke out against the war in Vietnam. History repeats itself, and the system is not going to change on its own. We cannot shame the shameless. We cannot appeal to the conscience and morals of those who have no conscience or morals. You have people telling us, oh, well, if you don't support Biden in this genocide, then you're going to make it easy for Trump. Those are false choices, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, friends and enemies, as Malcolm would say. because those are paper and plastic choices. We have a third option, and it's a recyclable bag, and we need to bring that bag to the table. We should have a record-breaking turnout for third-party candidates in this election. Don't just stay home, do something. That's what we said, we at Grail, do something. And this is our moment. This is an inflection point. And if you think I'm playing, just look at the calendar. What happened in the last election? Even if Biden pulls off a win, which I don't think is going to happen because he would need everybody that voted for him last time, this time, and that's not going to happen. But even if he did, Trump would not accept the results. What did he do last time? What do you think he's going to do this time when it's all for the marbles? But sadly, the two wings of the same bird somehow agree on foreign policy, don't they? There's no difference when it comes to this issue. But that has changed, hasn't it? That has changed. Again, this is a bougie town, so we cannot expect too much change here by police that are trained by Israel there to have any support for what we need to do. But again, we can do something. There are 80,000 young people in college in this town, and they are all eligible to register to vote. They qualify for residency. And if only half of them took up the ballot or the bullet and joined us in this election, we could really tip the balance of power. And DC, not being a state, should be a national issue. Because guess what? If it was a state, theoretically, we would get 2 progressive new Democratic senators, and that would tip the balance of power in this country. Make no mistake about it. They are both two wings of the same bird. You have conservative elements in both parties that prevents anything from getting done. Most people in this country want a ceasefire, but our elected representatives are not listening to us.
We will honor all our martyrs.
We will honor all our martyrs.
All our parents, fathers, and daughters.
All our parents, fathers, and daughters.
We will honor all our martyrs.
We will honor all our martyrs.
All our mothers, fathers, and daughters.
All our mothers, fathers, and daughters.
We will honor all our martyrs.
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 We gather today to honor the lives of over 30,000 Palestinians stolen from us in the past 4 months. We gather to honor the lives and homes being bombed across Arab lands, from Lebanon to Syria to Yemen. We gather here to honor the heroism that occurred on this land yesterday of Aaron Bushnell, making the ultimate sacrifice in devotion to true liberation. Arabs and Palestinians have a strong tradition in honoring our martyrs. The word for martyr in Arabic, shaheed, translates to witness, or one whose final moment in life is as a witness to injustice. Aaron Bushnell was a martyr whose final moment was spent in the heat of one naked, unflinching truth. The moral conscience of every human being, from the belly of the beast to the farthest reaches of the earth, demands immediate attention and action to end the horrors before us. We honor these martyrs. We bear witness to their deaths. We commemorate their lives, not because it is easy, but because it is one of the highest duties we have to our people.
Yes.
Aaron Bushnell's sacrifice is being remembered across the world today. He has taken the most honorable stance a free person can make, to willingly choose the fire of this world in the name of justice and liberation, rather than stand by and be complicit in genocide. He continues in the distinct tradition of heroic martyrs who have self-immolated to spark revolution. From Thich Quang Duc in protest in Vietnam, to Mohamed Bouazizi sparking the Arab Spring in Tunis. This is the ultimate form of protest, the response to the ultimate evils present in this world.
We honor these martyrs and assure that their deaths inspire millions to sacrifice for global revolution. Woo-hoo! Aaron Bushnell was an active duty member of the Air Force. The ruling class do not want the people to know that this was an American soldier who sacrificed his life, not for the interests of the elite, but for the people. This one act undermines every piece of American propaganda that furthers a false narrative of freedom and democracy, and that the highest form of honor is to serve in the military. A lie sold to exploit poor and working class youth to give them one means of survival and contribute to the exploitation of the masses around the world. It's a false choice imposed upon people in a country that doesn't provide for their safety and well-being. Aaron Bushnell saw through these lies. He shattered this myth with a very clear message. His refusal to be complicit destroyed this narrative, and he did so in a way that could not be denied by the media. And we remind everyone, in his own words, that this extreme act of protest, compared to what the people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizer, is not extreme at all. Right. For over 4 months, our people have been experiencing absolute horrors at the hands of the Zionist entity. The Zionist entity whose premier outpost in front of us was labeled yesterday with only an ounce of the true horror of its foundation and legacy. We have lost 30,000 of our people, 30,000 of our people in Gaza alone. Hundreds of thousands are at the brink of death from starvation. How many of our people have been burned to their core from white phosphorus bombs that the people in this building helped to purchase? How many of our people were burned in the ruins of the rubble of their own homes? How many of our people bled to death in hospitals with no fuel left to burn? How many years of vigils will we be attending to honor our martyrs? All who have paid the same price as Aaron and have not garnered the global admiration or grief. The war criminals in this city, the war criminals in this building, and in the White House have the souls and blood of Aaron, every Palestinian killed, tortured, imprisoned, and starves on their hands. We affirm with every breath that we will resist until liberation, that their blood is the most priceless on this planet, that every drop paves the path to liberation. That is why, no matter the devastation the empire unleashes on our people, we fight on undeterred and unshaken, because we know that we do not fight alone, because we recognize the conviction and commitment behind Aaron's words, and feel the same rage at those responsible for the slaughter in Gaza. Everyone here feels that same righteous anger that Aaron felt, and we share the same refusal to be unmoved by what we are seeing with our own eyes. He screamed, "Free Palestine!" until he drew his last breath. With every muscle, through the sheer pain, through tears, through flames, and through fire. With every muscle in his body, he screamed, "Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! What an honor it is to have your final words in this unjust world be "Free Palestine." May this moment be a reminder to us all for why we must fight on, and let it invigorate your commitment to liberation. Free Palestine. Woo! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Hands up Gaza now!
Hands up Gaza now!
Hands
here today, we need to remember that Aaron Bushnell did not cry, but rather stood with conviction as he lit the flame that ablazed his body, screaming, "Free Palestine," with anger and with rage. With anger and with rage. And his legacy will carry on so that we do not stand with simple sadness, but with anger and with rage. With anger and with rage until the empire crumbles from the top to the bottom. Anger and rage is all we have been feeling for almost 5 months, over 140 days.
75 years.
75 years of occupation, almost 17 years of the siege on Gaza. And Aaron Bushnell stood here yesterday and was so strategic with what he did. And let me explain to you why. He knew the media would try to spin this as though he was mentally unstable, just another troubled child. But everything he did was calm, cool, collected. He stood there, explained why he was there, and the Huffington Post had the audacity to say they have no reason to believe yet that this was a form of protest. When his very first words were that this was an extreme form of protest. And the officer who drew his gun, who drew his weapon, telling a man who was lit to flames, burning and falling to the ground, screaming, "Free Palestine," he told him to stay on the ground. And this moment exposes the truth and the reality of state violence, of what this state continuously does. It is enforced to kill, not to save. These cops, these agents, the entire institutions are trained to kill and not to save, just like these murderers inside this building. And so as we gather for Aaron, and we gather for over 30,000 lives that have been lost in Gaza alone, not even counting the West Bank, not even counting Yemen, not even counting Syria or Iraq. The list of the countries can go on, right? As we stand here for them, let us not forget that anger and rage are our tools, and that this is not just the beginning of the revolution. The revolution has been ongoing for 76 years, and the global masses have finally chosen to wake up, have finally to put their bodies on the front lines. It is no longer just our people alone. And 3 years ago, I stood right here in front of this embassy telling every single person that this is not just a Palestinian issue only. That this is not just an Arab issue only. It is, but not only. It is not just a Muslim issue only. And Aaron Bushnell, a white man who is an active duty in the military, stood here and self-immolated for the people of Palestine. And his act is just a glimpse into how the empire is crumbling and will continue to crumble and burn to the ground until all of our people are free, from Turtle Island to Palestine to all over the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. We will honor Aaron Bushnell and all of our martyrs, and we will remember his legacy as we have remembered Rachel Corrie's legacy.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. My name is Fatima. I am from Afghanistan. And like the sister before me said, this didn't start on October 7th. We come from lands that have been repeatedly colonized, invaded, occupied. After 9/11, the first invasion that the U.S. started in recent times was my homeland, Afghanistan. And I can promise you, the majority of the people here right now did not do anything to even verbally oppose that invasion occupation that ended a couple of years ago. We lost thousands of our people. The military-industrial complex is in this area, the DMV area. 6 of the wealthiest counties in the country are here, and they have directly profited the last 20 years. The technology is being used on our Palestinian siblings right now. The aerial warfare, the drone attacks were perfected on my people, on the people of Iraq, where millions were killed, on Sudan, Somalia. Sudan and Somalia did not just get invaded and occupied today. That's been going on since the Obama years. I don't want to repeat what my Palestinian siblings have already said. They can do it better than me, but I want to say one thing. In the belly of the beast, there are no quiet spaces in our hearts for candlelight vigils. This was Nadine Naber from Palestine Studies in November. And when Aaron came here in principled politics, put his principled militant politics into actual action, and set himself on fire, I can promise you that he wants us to do more. He wants us to be more militant and radical in our actions. I hear a lot of revolutionary rhetoric in these events, in these protests and rallies, but all our tactics have been liberal as hell. And this burden should not fall on my Palestinian siblings. This burden should fall on the allies, which we want them to be accomplices. Aaron Bushnell was an accomplice, and we need more accomplices. On the 11th anniversary of the U.S. war of Afghanistan, to the troops we said, go AWOL, return, refuse to fight, start a revolt amongst your ranks. Aaron did exactly that, and we need everybody who works for the DOD, NSA, CIA, FBI, all the institutions of war, weapons, and surveillance. We need them all to quit their jobs, revolt. I'm also going to draw attention to the fact that once again, I hear a cause for liberation in the settler colony of the U.S. being co-opted into electoral politics. I say no to that, whether it's one party, two party, or three parties. We know that the United States is a settler colony on stolen native land, built off of genocide of indigenous people here that's still ongoing, built off of the stolen labor of Africans forced into slavery. So I say, and say it with me, abolish the settler colony of the U.S. Abolish the settler colony of the U.S. Abolish the settler colony of Israel. Abolish the settler colony of Israel. Abolish the settler colony of Israel. Abolition. Another point I want to make, abolition. Abolishing the police and prisons and the incarceration system. That image, the image of the cop holding a gun at the protester is the perfect example of how the police and Israel and IOF are connected. We all know the IOF trains with police departments in this country that murders black lives on a daily. So the struggle for black liberation, the struggle for land back, indigenous liberation in the settler colony of the U.S. is directly connected to the struggle for free Palestine. And if we want to be free, we need to have our movements work in solidarity with the other struggles on the ground here. Thank you. Free Palestine!
Before our next speaker, could we just have everyone inch in 2 steps? Thank you, thank you.
Hello. Before I start talking, I want everyone to look around and look for Aaron's military leaders. Where are they? Where are his leaders? Where are his colleagues, his co-workers? Why are they not here to mourn this soldier, this airman? Where are they? You know who is here today? Patriots. True patriots. Yeah. That's who's here today, because probably before this situation, I'd imagine that there's some tension between people from the Middle East and the military, because of course they send us to do their bidding. They send us to do the bidding. Do you know who sends us to do the bidding? The legislative branch the executive branch, they send us to do the bidding and make their money, and they kill us, and they come home and they barely support us with mental health, with a future. They say, oh, you'll get a GI Bill and free college though. But I want you to remember this day, because I will for the rest of my life. Who showed up for this soldier? Who showed up? You guys did, because you have a heart. Humanity is in your hearts, and humanity will prevail. And I want to make sure that I repeat exactly what he said. I will no longer be complicit in genocide. Free Palestine. Ceasefire now.
With the help of the Almighty, I pray to the Almighty to bestow upon me His truth, His wisdom, that I may be worthy of conveying His message. We, as Jewish people around the world who are true to our religion, have been standing not for 75 years of this occupation, over 100 years since the Balfour Declaration, since the encroaching of settlers in the Holy Land, slowly but surely coming up and taking towns, villages, homes from the Palestinian people. We are Jewish people who made a covenant with God 3,000 years ago to be subservient to God. We constantly say, Mahu rachum afatu terachum. Just as you are compassionate, the Almighty God, we are to be compassionate. We are to emulate God. We are to be a light, ideally when we're practicing the Torah, to teach people how to do kindness, to show gratitude for good done, to constantly, as God is the all-compassionate, to emulate and to do these deeds that the world should follow and do in these footsteps in the ways that we were taught in our Torah. Unfortunately, I must tell you first that I am a child of Holocaust survivors. My grandparents were killed in Auschwitz. The majority of my family were killed in both Hungary and Poland. I studied with my uncle for many years, his wife and 5 children were murdered by the Nazis. They were burnt. They were consumed in fire, in ashes. They were gassed. They were murdered. It's not that long ago. It's not that long ago. I have relatives. My father-in-law passed away recently, and he was a Holocaust survivor. He was in Auschwitz. So we know, we feel, we suffer, we hurt, and we know what it means when people are being murdered, people being murdered for not for some evil that they committed, but simply because other people are cruel, have a twisted ideology in their world. But the rest of the world has the obligation, as creatures of God that were created by the Almighty, to stand up and speak up. And the world recognized that. In fact, the Holocaust is used around the world as an example to teach what we must do and what we dare not do. We must do is when we see evil in the world, people who are in some manner condoning or justifying their way of thinking that is corrupt, that is wrong, and they go and they pray in their synagogues, they pray in their mosques, they pray in their churches. As for hundreds of years we had here in the United States, there was slavery, and people went and prayed in their churches and felt they were good human beings. And we had that throughout history. There are always people who could do wrong, and believe that they're in peace with their Maker. But that is why the rest of the world is here. And that is why the United Nations was created. To stand up and say, we are human beings of the Almighty, created by the Almighty, and we must stand up. And we dare not be silent. We've witnessed, ironically, the creation of the United Nations that was created that there should not be a World War I or World War II and repeated. And they went and they ratified a land where the majority were Muslims, the second group of people were Christians, and then there was a Jewish community, all living together in peace with a distinctly different religion. Religion was not an impediment of our coexistence. On the contrary, we were talking about God-fearing people, holy people, and we got along, we helped, we lived together, we helped each other. And a movement started that's called Zionism, a transformation from this godliness to nationalism, ignoring the words of the rabbinical authorities worldwide who said, what are you doing? You're not allowed to steal the land of a people. And what type of people? A people when we were being murdered and harassed, killed, expelled from lands in Europe. Who took us in? The Muslim countries took us in. And then you vilify them and call them anti-Semitic. How dare you? So we are hurting. We are hurting for so many years, our rabbinical authorities, our rabbis, our parents, our grandparents. We say, we just went through this. How could you go ahead and do this to other people? We've been standing together with the Palestinian people. We've been being brutally beaten, harassed, killed, and the world is silent. It's bewildering to us because nobody accuses us of carrying guns. And this is ongoing. And where is it happening? On the auspices of a people that call themselves representatives of God, using the Star of David, the name Judaism. But we will not be silent. We will continue to be here together with the Palestinian people, hurting and crying and being outspoken and pleading with the world that they're creating remembrances for the Holocaust. That remembrance for the Holocaust was not supposed to be a piece of stone. It was something that was supposed to pierce the hearts of us, that we should be out here and speaking and talking. But it hasn't. We've seen it culminated, this ignoring, this slowly developing, growing, expanding, this occupation of another people unjustly. People that are innocent, they're being taken over. Why? In the name of God. So the people are doing it. Once the people start going to evil, the evil expands. They become blind to what they're doing. And this is what's happening. It got worse and worse and worse and worse till it culminated in these last 5 months where everybody is witnessing, everybody is seeing day by day the murder again and again and again, that a normal human being should not be able to sleep. And that's what I think us and many, many people around the world are so frustrated beyond words. To a person with a heart, a soul, Aaron Bushnell, his heart, which was so big and beautiful, just exploded, and he went and he did the ultimate. He burnt himself to death because he was hoping that his life should have this purpose of doing what God wants of us, that we should be stopping an evil. We're not standing out here to speak to this corporation, to this existence that for 75 years has been masquerading in a beautiful religion of 3,000 years. We're speaking to the world leaders that they should recognize that in their midst in Washington, D.C., the center of the United States of America that was supposed to be a home for people who are suffering around the world. They're letting exist the representation of this occupation. And Aaron Bushnell went and he came here. He knew where to come. And he burnt himself to death. So we are here to cry and hurt with those 30,000 people who are dead in Gaza. Tens and hundreds of thousands more, the injured, suffering in refugee camps, in the West Bank, The ones who died for so many years. And you know what? The ones who felt trapped, who were entrapped by Zionism, and their soldiers who also died, thinking they're dying for Judaism, possibly. But they died for a selfish, evil occupation that has no justification according to the Judaism. The culmination, what we're seeing, and Aaron Bushnell took his life right over here to tell the world to point to this and say, this must be stopped. We hope, we cry, we hurt, we urge everybody to pray to the Almighty. Almighty, it's His world that with His compassion, like apartheid was stopped, that was evil, yet it was recognized for tens of years in the United Nations, but it was stopped, and today nobody will give it approval or justify it, because it was so evil, so wrong. Nobody can say it was right, yet it was accepted. And the ones who opposed it were terrorists, were called terrorists. We are pleading that this should be stopped. This should be stopped right away. It must be stopped. Everybody should pray to the Almighty for speedy and peaceful dismantlement. And everybody should not be intimidated. Look at the very religious communities, from Jerusalem to New York, wherever it must be, wherever the ones who are true to the religion, we are opposed to the occupation, and we are saying that the people of Gaza, of Rafah, of Palestine, they're the victims, they're innocent. Do not let them be hurt more. And we are coming here, God, hopefully, that the leaders of the world, it will go into their hearts and they will do what they were given, this exalted positions of leaders of the world that was given to them by God, that they should use it for what they have to. At the same time, we are here to give a prayer to the Almighty. Aaron Bushnell, who gave his life, as we say in the Jewish prayers, the God who is full of compassion and sees when somebody did the utmost, he gave all of himself for the suffering of other human beings, that God should take him and embrace him up high, give him a throne amongst the ones who gave selflessly for the Almighty, and he should be able to enjoy a continuous existence over there with the other martyrs, the people of Palestine who died, and the ones who suffered and died throughout the world in righteousness. And may the Almighty, with His compassion, see what's going on here and bring the end of this occupation today, that we should be able to serve God in harmony, together in joy. Amen. Thank you.
Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Aaron, you will see!
Aaron, you will see!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Aaron, you will see!
Aaron, you will see!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Aaron, you will see!
Aaron, you will see!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
We don't want no two-state!
We don't want no two-state!
Give us back 48!
Give us back 48!
We don't want no two-state!
We don't want no two-state!
Give us back 48!
Give us back 48!
One of the speakers before me said something that I disagreed with, and I just wanted to jump in here as a Palestinian. They called themselves a true patriot. I'd like to tell you that as a Palestinian, I have never and will never feel patriotic to this terrorist country.
Never. I will never feel patriotic towards a country that will commit a genocide for over 140 days and not bat an eye when a man burns himself in front of the Israeli Zionist embassy. I will never feel patriotic when the New York Times published an article and the focus of their article was on how Aaron was breaking his conduct, how he was not following his contract, how this was against what he signed when he joined the military. This country will forever be focused on protecting and preserving their property, their terrorism, their war criminals. Every single time we come here, without fail, every single time we mobilize, the cops come. What do you think they do? Protect property. What do you think they do? Protect the counter-protesters. What do you think they do? They smile and they laugh as we speak of dead, mutilated children, women, and men. When I first saw that a man who was actively in the U.S. military set himself on fire for my people, my feelings were so mixed. I didn't know how to feel because he knew. He was strategic. He knew that it had to be him. It couldn't have been me. Because if it was me, it was a terrorist attack. Because if it was you, it was a terrorist attack. But if it was him, it was him showing the world the absolute insanity and inhumanity of the U.S. empire. Aaron knew that he made the ultimate sacrifice, not to encourage others to go and burn themselves alongside him, but to encourage others to do something, to stand up, to actually become radical and move towards liberation and start a revolution, because this country will not free us. It will never free us. We must escalate the situation. Is 30,000 martyrs not enough for you? Is it not enough? When will it be enough? When will it be enough after over 140 days, after 30,000 martyrs, after thousands still stuck under rubble, after thousands starving, after diseases spreading? There is no returning point back to business as usual. We have passed the point of no return. There is no return. None of these people standing here today will ever look at this country the same, will ever look at Palestine the same. The enemy is U.S. imperialism. The enemy is this embassy right here. The enemy are these fascist pigs right there. No ifs, no buts. You either stand on the right side of history or you go home and sit down.
That's right. Mic check, mic check. Thank you, everybody who showed up here tonight. Thank you. It would be remiss for me not to mention our comrade in Atlanta, December 1st. We don't know her name. Jane Doe, same thing, in front of the Israeli embassy. She lost her life as well. In the same matter as Aaron Bushnell. The same as our brother in the Congo, who wanted to call attention. This radical act, I want us all to sit in that. This calculated, meticulous act. This final act of resistance. This is a reminder for us all. I want to say something. I wrote it down so I didn't forget. He said, I don't need guns. I need a fire extinguisher. I don't need guns. In this country, this trigger-happy country, they ran with their guns drawn. How fucking crazy is that? I want us to sit with that. The fact that they came with their guns blazing while there was a body burning for seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, burning. Guns are still drawn. What does it mean that the first reaction is to lead with lead and not to be led with compassion? What does it mean? So in addition to that, I'm gonna keep it short. I want all of us to look at what our comrade Aaron did yesterday and our sister in Atlanta and move with that and keep that in our hearts, keep that fire burning. We cannot burn out. We cannot burn out externally, internally. Lean on each other, lean on your comrades. Because this fight is our last fight. And if we don't win, y'all, we are gonna win, okay? We're gonna win. We're gonna free Palestine. We're gonna free anybody that's under U.S. imperialism.
Yes.
We need to do it, all right? All right.
Palestinians will free Palestine, and we are here. Our embers will not die.
We will honor all our martyrs!
We will honor all our martyrs!
All our parents, sons, and daughters!
All our parents, sons, and daughters!
We will honor all our martyrs!
We will honor all our martyrs!
All our parents, sons, and daughters!
All our parents, sons, and daughters!
My name is Ben. I'm an organizer with the Answer Coalition that stands for Act Now to Stop War and End Racism. And since our formation, we have been centering Palestine at a time when it was taboo, at a time when everybody labeled racistly that Palestine and the liberation was a terrorist act. And we say, from the beginning, what Aaron said yesterday, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
The decision of U.S. Airman Aaron Bushnell to set himself on fire in front of the Zionist embassy while condemning U.S.-backed Israeli genocide being carried out against the people of Gaza was a desperate act, not in a cowardly way, but in a way where you feel so inclined to throw your body into the cog of the war machine so it just is brought to a halt.
Right. Yeah.
He made the personal sacrifice to end a genocide that the entire world has been witnessing in this past few months. This was an act of martyrdom by a U.S. service member who was outraged by his actions of a government that speaks in his name and in yours as well. Aaron set himself on fire saying, I will not be complicit with genocide. And I'd like us to repeat that so we're all clear on where we stand. I will not be complicit with genocide.
With genocide.
People all over the United States, in the millions, have been involved in mass actions to protest U.S. support for Israeli genocide against the Palestinian people in recent months. People have been engaged in civil disobedience of many types. You can't go a day, you can't go an hour, you can't go a block in D.C. without keeping Palestine in the mind. That's something that is our duty to keep going as we enter this era, because that is why people from the ranks of the military of the greatest empire in the world, Aaron is just one of thousands who are thinking of this, who are thinking, I serve nothing but Wall Street. I serve nothing but the Pentagon. Right. And enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Aaron Bushnell's action is a reflection and indicator of the profound change in consciousness in the United States. Previously dominant narrative that backed the Zionist apartheid government is giving away a narrative based on truth, that the Palestinian people have been victims of dispossession, ethnic cleansing, violence in all types, and now a genocidal killing spree in Gaza. People in the United States and around the world are horrified and mobilizing on multiple fronts in support of Palestine. Bushnell's sacrifice takes place on the eve of what we shouldn't forget is a planned invasion of Rafah by the Israeli military. People all over the world, people all over the United States will be amassing in this city. People will be returning to this very location, including you all, to demand no invasion of Rafah, and a ceasefire to end the Israeli killing spree, and the lifting once and for all on the siege on Gaza. We send our sympathy and solidarity to Aaron Bushnell's family and loved ones. He's made the ultimate sacrifice in a quest for justice and solidarity from the oppressed people of Palestine, and we continue to monitor and stay in the streets for every single Palestinian that has lost their life, that has lost their loved one, and continues to suffer under an oppressive apartheid regime that we know that will fall. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
We will honor all our martyrs!
We will honor all our martyrs!
All our parents, sons and daughters!
All our parents, sons and daughters!
Free, free Palestine!
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 So, yesterday, as Aaron was burning here, as he set himself on fire, we all know the cops, instead of helping him, drew a gun on him. What does this show us? They show us this is a system that does not care about human suffering, about human life. Because this is the system that has been complicit in the 140 days of genocide. This is the system that is founded on the blood of indigenous people, on the blood of enslaved black people. This is the system that's been murdering thousands and millions across the world, in Sudan, in the Congo, in Palestine, in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. The ruling class media says Aaron had mental health problems. That's why he set himself on fire. But when he was burning with fire, was engulfing his muscle, was engulfing his body, he was more clear than ever that something needs to be done about this genocide. Something more than just marches and vigils. He knows that something needs to be done to bring down this whole system. Aaron is right in that this something needs to be burned down. And it is this imperialist system that needs to be burned down. And the people have the matches, have the lighters to do it. Comrades and friends, if we don't act, if we don't do something, can we just sit here and allow the Palestinian people to die under US bombs? Can we allow this? How can we not be complicit? The only way the imperialism listens is through arms, is through fire. And it is this fire that Palestinian resistance has been giving for more than 140 days, for more than 75 years. Like the comrades before me have said, what we need is a revolution. What we need is struggle until victory, and we cannot sit down until we really build our organized forces of the people, of the working class, so we can sweep away imperialism from the face of the earth. They think that blood will drown the revolution. They're wrong. Aaron's blood, the blood of the Palestinian people, they did not drown the revolution. They watered it. They're like seeds. When one of them fell, 10 of them, 1,000 of us will rise up. And let us remember him. Let us remember what he tried to tell us. That is, we need to sweep away this system, and we cannot just do the so-called liberal protesting. And we need to really get organized, and we need to fight, and we need to win. There is only one solution.
There is only one solution.
Intifada revolution.
Intifada revolution.
It is our right to rebel.
It is our right to rebel.
Israel, go to hell.
Israel, go to hell.
Palestine, give them hell.
Palestine, give them hell.
In the streets, in the fight.
In the streets, in the fight.
People of the world unite.
People of the world unite.
We won't hide, we won't cower.
We won't hide, we won't cower.
Take up guns and seize state power.
Take up guns and seize their power.
All right, thank you.
Hi, everybody. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I feel compelled. My name's Hazami. There's a group of awesome people here. We've been with a lot of people in the audience doing a kibbutz in front of Secretary of State Blinken's house now for the last 30 plus days. We've created a 24-hour, 24/7 encampment. And actually, what I'm coming to say may be a little different than what those before me said. And just bear with me here. I am Palestinian American, Palestinian Syrian American. And I think part of the challenge when we talk about revolution and the extreme ends of what needs to be done is it's very hard to mobilize persistent endurance over durations of time at the extreme fringes of complete inaction or complete revolution, which is why our momentum and our movements have not built, in my mind, momentum over the decades. And my call to you all is actually to think about internalizing what that means to you. How can we activate and mobilize and inspire everybody to do what they're called, able, and committed to do over durations of time? We need sustained action. Our group, up until now, has spent collectively as a team of random people that come up. We are so diverse in our nature. We have spent over 30,000 hours on the streets in Washington in the last 4 months. And I'm not saying this to celebrate ourselves. What I'm saying is that we need all of you guys to do more consistently every day endurance. And if you study movements in history, whether it's the Vietnam movement, and that took 9 years, we want to do things a lot faster than that. But movements take time, they take persistence, they take dedication, and it takes making people uncomfortable and meeting people where they're at. With all due respect, the embassy staff all left at 2 p.m. We all watched them leave. They actually created an entire whatever parameter around us, and they all evacuated as if we were here to do something to them. But my point is, we need to find and meet people where they're at in their communities, make people uncomfortable, push the narrative into places where it's not being had. And my request and my plea is, how do we figure out how to activate your average person that feels like, I don't matter? You do matter. If we had people on the streets in Washington, the streets are sanitized. We're out on the streets almost all day, every day. And I can tell you, we are usually a party of 5. We have been in front of this embassy doing die-ins. And what broke and shattered my soul the other day is we literally do die-ins where we have people literally lining this, playing dead for hours and hours and hours during staff hours, so where the staff has to walk by us. And Aaron's body was aflame just literally 4-5 feet from where we do our die-ins. My plea to you all is, please, do more. Do more that makes sense to you. Do more in every single part of your life, just a little bit more, and inspire, hopefully, inshallah, those in your community to do more. I would love to see people protesting, 1 or 2 or 3 people, hold a sign, whatever it is, in front of every single institution of power, every single day. Make them have to look at us. But screaming in front of the White House when the White House staff is all gone, and no one's scrolling your social media feeds, what are we screaming at? Who are we screaming to? Let's figure out how to mobilize more efficiently, more effectively, and with more endurance. I beg you all, for Aaron for Palestine, for Gaza, for humanity. Let's learn from our mistakes and let's do this.
So I wasn't gonna speak at all, but I got a strong inclination to speak, especially after, who was the last speaker? What was your name?
Hazambi.
Hazambi. What inside of you will fuel you to keep on going? And as a person of faith, my faith is what keeps me going. Because if we rely on our flesh, we can only go so far. I've been thinking a lot about the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King. A lot of schools don't teach this, but Martin Luther King was a man of God. He relied on the Spirit, not on his flesh, to do what he's done. So I say all this to say a movement can only go so far if it relies on man. Do not put your faith in man. Do not put your faith in your flesh. And I cannot leave this space without publicly inviting the Holy Spirit to intercede and do what no man can do. There's an election coming up in November. Joe Biden is not doing anything. He will not do anything. Donald Trump will not do anything. Whoever is running in the third independent party will not and cannot do anything.
That's right.
This is a matter of the Spirit, not just the flesh. And until we recognize that and operate in that way, that is when God will do things that not even we can imagine. I cannot leave here without saying that. I've been to so many marches, and there's always been something missing. And I come here to publicly invite the Holy Spirit to intercede in ways that no man can intercede. Amen. And may the Lord have mercy on Aaron Bushnell's spirit. Lord, thank you for his courageous acts. And Lord, I know that his death is not in vain. It is not in vain.
I want to respect the sister who just spoke. However, those of us who do not follow that path, we need to continue also. And I'd like to say that we can't all talk together, but we can chant together and we can sing together. Palestine, Palestine needs her freedom. Needs her freedom. Palestine, Palestine needs our love. Needs our love. Palestine, Palestine needs her freedom. Needs her freedom. Palestine, Palestine needs our love. Needs our love. If you think of the Middle East in this modern time, you can't help but say the word Palestine. People there have lost their land. Some have lost their home. They live in other countries. Their freedom almost gone. Palestine, Palestine needs her freedom. Needs her freedom. Palestine, Palestine needs our love. Needs our love. Palestine, Palestine needs her freedom. Needs her freedom. Palestine, Palestine needs our love. Needs our love. There seems to be no answer to give us the reason why people cannot live, so no one has to die. We've got to take a stand for freedom, take a stand for truth, take a stand for justice. That's what we've got to do, 'cause Palestine, Palestine needs her freedom. Needs her freedom. Palestine, Palestine needs our love. Needs our love. Palestine, Palestine needs her freedom. Palestine needs our love. People of all countries, of every race and creed, we need a new beginning. Let us plant the seed. Plant the seed of love, and let that love seed grow. Plant the seed for everyone, so all the world will know that Palestine needs her freedom. Palestine needs our love. Palestine needs her freedom. Palestine needs our
Thank you so much. We have one final speaker, and then we will close. And before we do, I would say, before you leave the space, we have flowers. We have a message, a banner over on the right from me, where we would like to gift it to Comrade Aaron's family. So please sign if you can. And also if you could perhaps connect, speak to somebody that you don't know here in this space. What can you be doing? This visual came together organically from folks that had an outpouring of compassion and love and rage. And this is how we can bring our community together, but it's not just about today. It's not about tomorrow. It's every minute. We've heard beautiful words of rage, beautiful words of conviction, and we have to continue these embers of rage to ensure that we can take the changes, the necessary changes that are needed. So our final speaker, thank you.
Thank you very much. Free Palestine. That's what Aaron's last words were. Free Palestine. What does that mean, Free Palestine, in practical terms? We are at a very crucial point in our country. And the people in that building, the people in the White House, the people in the Congress, the people in the Senate, not in DC, but all the way to Ferguson, to Mississippi, to Alabama, to California and LA, to all the way to Maryland and Baltimore, they think we are nothing. They think we have no power. And I know that a lot of us are frustrated, are deeply hurting, are angry. We feel helpless. We see over 30,000 Palestinian civilians killed by Israel with support of the United States and Western allies. We see over 12,000 babies and children bombed by United States and Israel and Western allies. We see over 1,000 children being amputated without anesthesia. We see women, Palestinian women, are giving C-section without anesthesia. And I don't see any Me Too movements or Western feminist movement coming out and speaking out on behalf of the Palestinian women that are facing horrific atrocities right now. Shame on you, on your hypocrisy and double standard, and shame on American media who continues to fabricate and conceal the truth. So Malcolm X said once, they, and he meant by the white supremacist groups, the institutions, they're behind white supremacy and racism and suppression, oppression of black communities. He said they didn't outnumber us. They don't outnumber us. They out-organized us. And I want you to keep that in mind, because the people in this building, they think they control us. With their tactics, with intimidation, with their supporters on the street, doxing all the time. But they don't. Because the biggest thing you have at your disposal is your truth. It's the biggest weapon you have is your voice. And I want to reach out to each of you and each of your communities to do not be in fear, to come together shoulder to shoulder, to reach out in your communities, in your neighborhoods, to organize in your communities. Do not allow the fallacy and the bigotry and the hatred and the intimidation to stop you from what you're doing. Because truth and justice and peace is on your side, and it will prevail one day, I promise you that. But it requires really strategic planning and organizing your communities. Do not lose hope. Do not allow this structure that is built on lies and oppression, intimidation, and evil and darkness. I want to leave this thought that I read some time ago. I don't know where it come from, but I always talk about it. The seed sprouts in the darkness and in the dirt. And right now, very soon, we're about to see the liberation to sprout. And I want each of you, when you leave, to allow and let Aaron's flame to keep burning in your souls forever. And carry on his legacy with critical thinking and speaking the truth and organizing your communities, and never ever give up the fact that one day Palestine will be liberated. Thank you.
Okay, folks, we're not done with the programming here.
Burn it!
I need a hand. Burn that shit.
I am an active duty member of the United States Air Force. I will no longer be complicit in genocide.
Thank you.
I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest that, compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, is not extreme at all. This is what our ruling class has decided will be normal.
Thank you. I need a hand. Thank you. Hold it up. Thank you, brother. Use your candle. Use your candle. This is in solidarity with Aaron, who burned his body. At the very least, we can burn the Zionist flag. Burn that shit! Fuck
If we make you burn with us, if we burn, you burn with us. 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 We will free Palestine. We will free Palestine. Within our lifetime. Within our lifetime.
I am an active duty member of the United States Air Force.
I'm so sorry.
And I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest that, compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers.
Go away. Fuck off! Fuck off!
MPD, you're all the same. No justice! No peace! 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 No justice! No peace!
Fuck the cops.
Fuck the cops.
Fucking pigs.
Fuck 12.
Fuck the cops.
Fuck 12. Fuck 12. Fuck 12. Fuck 12.
Guys, seriously, chill the hell out. Come on. Yeah. Set your ego to the side. We're here for Aaron, not to troll any police officers. Chill.
Bichon! Wizard Bichon! They let him die! Fuck 12!
Long live Aaron B! Long live Aaron B! Long live Aaron B! My car's like down there. I'll meet you at the end. I want to write something. Okay.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Long live Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Free, free Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine.
Long live Palestine!
From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Netanyahu, you will see! Palestine will be free! Netanyahu, you will see! Palestine will be free!